Hello everybody, welcome to ICSE StudyMate. My name is Aditi Agrawal and today we'll be talking about 2 months plan for your board examination. Today is 4th of March and your board examination are starting on the 5th of May. So you have 2 solid months in your hand to score 95% and above. So talking about today's session objectives, we are going to talk about two things mainly. Number one is the study plan in the month of March and number two is the study plan in the month of April. Now, before we discuss this thing in detail, I want you all to remember one thing, that even though ICSE board examination for grade 10 is the first big examination that you're writing in your school life, but do not be anxious about it. It's not a big deal. It's not going to affect your career drastically. So even if I'm not promoting you to, not study for the exam, but although at the same time, do not tense a lot about it. It's a very easy exam to score marks in. Okay, so it's a very easy exam. Do your best, perform your best in the examination, and let other factors determine your success, right? So put in your best you can, put in your 100%. There is no harm in getting good marks, right? So we'll try our best and then let the other factors determine it. But at the same time, never be anxious or tensed about this examination. 2 months are very much sufficient. If you have not studied the entire year, right now is the time when you can, cover up the loss that you made during the entire year. And with the online system, definitely you should focus on these 2 months effectively and work and put in your best efforts. So, very briefly, we are going to be talking about how we are going to revise in the month of March and how we are going to solve the papers in the month of April. Now, let's discuss the study plan in the month of March in detail. So, by 15th of March, you have to finish working on your weak concepts and tough subjects. Now, what do I mean by this? So, definitely, like everybody has a tough subject. For example, one might find English language really difficult, or one might find mathematics really difficult. Right now is still the time where you can work on your concepts. And especially for subjects like physics and mathematics, ICSE board is very particular about concepts. Their paper are very conceptual based. So if your concepts are not clear, you'll definitely not be able to perform as good in the examination as the person whose concepts are clear. So by 15th of March, take up those subjects where your concepts are not clear, or take up your tough subjects, call your teachers, ask them for help, reach us out, we will help you out how to study a particular chapter or how to work about that. We'll discuss all of it. So do this thing by 15th of March, clear all your concepts, be very ready and be very confident with your, make your tough subjects your strong subjects, make them your best subjects. Okay, so work on that and do that by 15th March. And maximum, if you have not studied the entire year, so you will take a little more time, so maximum by 20th of March, you will finish your concept clarification and working on these tough subjects. So this is like basically, suppose you take mathematics, you're finding circle stuff, so you will work on circles chapter, solve all the solved examples, and then you work for some extra questions. If you have doubts, you reach out to the teacher. And similarly, you will do for subjects that you're finding tough and weak, and you're weak at. So this you will finish maximum by 20th of March. After that, from 21st March to 31st March, you have 10 days and 10 subjects. Now here, your main goal should be to work on all the subjects. Like you have to revise all the chapters from each subject. So for example, first day you're taking English language. So you have to make sure that you have all the concepts clear, you have all the chapters studied. So you're revising all the subjects. You have to keep your notes ready for revision. So now what happens is, before, like during your board examination, you do not really get the time to read the entire textbook for each subject. So you have to make sure that you have the notes ready for all your chapters. So especially for subjects like history, geography, biology, chemistry. History examination, you have the examination of 10th of May. Your English literature examination gets over on 10th of May, and on 12th you have your history examination. So you just have 1 day gap, that is 11th of May. So in that gap, you won't be able to study the entire textbook. So make sure that you make your own notes. And here, I would also like to add one more point. There are thousands of free sources available online, but if you want to score 19% and above, you have to make your own notes. I agree that even ICSE StudyMate is providing you free notes and free resources, but when are you supposed to use them? When you have, like, for example, not study the entire year, and now it's not the time, like now you don't have the time to prepare all notes. That's when you go for one source, and that time also you just go for one single source. If you're referring to another website, go refer that website only. Do not go for 100 sources, because you do not have that much time, and neither you don't have the, you can't take inputs from everywhere. Just refer to one person, one mentor, one teacher. Just refer to one source always, for any examination for that matter. One subject, if you have one person to refer to, you have to go to, just listen to that person. Don't listen to a second person other than that person. Okay, so that you have to make sure that there will be free sources. Don't go for all the sources, just stick to one source and work on it. Nextly, so you have to make sure that you either make notes for history, geography, and all those chapters, so you just underline those parts important, or highlight them in the textbook itself, so that when you study for the examination, you have them ready with you, and you don't have to read the entire chapter. Next we come to is make maths formula sheet. It's very important to make a mathematics formula sheet, because even if your concepts are not clear, and even if your concepts are clear, and if you don't remember the formula in the exam, the concepts are of no use. And in ICSE gives marks for steps and formula. You get 1 mark for the formula. So even if you don't know a certain sum, how to solve it, even if you go and write the formula and come back home, you will get marks for that formula writing. So make sure that you remember all the formulas. And for that, I always recommend this to the students I personally mentor. This is how I ask them to make. For, like, suppose you take yellow paper, write all the formulas related to a certain chapter there. So all the formulas related to circle on that yellow paper. For GST, you write all the chapters on a certain color paper. So what happens is with colored papers, your brain is very effective in relating something to colors. It's an associative property of your brain. So once you do that, for example, in exam, you're not able to recall a certain formula. You will know that, oh, circles was on yellow. So that will come automatically from the back of your brain, that, oh yeah, this was the formula. It helps. And I personally did this too. So when I used to travel to school for the examination. I used to quickly revise these formulas in the car and like work on them. Like, you definitely can't work on them in the last phase, but just quickly, these are like quick recap notes. So just make that thing, not just for maths. For history, suppose, for example, write all the powers of Lok Sabha in one color sheet, write all the powers of Rajya Sabha on one color sheet. Similarly, whatever are there, just write on different colors, staple it, and attach it to your textbook. Okay, so these are the things that you can use at the last moment, and they're very effective, trust me. And this is what your entire March month should be about. Mid-March till mid-March, approximately 15th of March or 20th of March, for weaker students, you have to focus on concept clarification and tough subjects. 21st March onwards till 31st March onwards, you will work on all the subjects, revise notes, keep all your notes ready, and make notes for the chapters you couldn't, and ask for help if you need anything else. So this is all about your strategy in the month of March. That's it for today's session. So if you have any doubts, definitely you can reach us out anytime, comment down below, or these are our social media handles. You can message us anytime and the team will get back to you. And if you have any personal queries, just ask Aditi, and I'll just get back to you personally. Otherwise, the team will definitely get back to your queries. So I hope this was helpful, and see you again. Bye.